again, I don't think I wanted to get this across, and I guess we got plenty of time to do it. How Sting was an underrated worker.
Yes.
Sting was a bodybuilder, and Sting was big and strong, and he and Jim Hellwig were the Blade Runners. I think Sting became. I don't think there's any question. Sting became a much better worker than the Ultimate Warrior was. Sting could do a lot of things. He was more than just a guy with face paint and a lot of colors that could beat his chest and bring out the excitement of the fans, and they drew to that. He was a guy that could actually work a good match. And I think I want to credit somebody with that. I think you got to credit Ric Flair with that.
Yes.
I think anybody that had any run with Ric Flair learned how to work. And so I think that's
It was pretty cool, and it was pretty cool to see them together again one last time over the weekend. I talked to Richard yesterday, and I didn't think about this, but you talked about that glass spot in the corner when they had the pane of glass set up in the corner, and Sting went through it. Well, of course, famously, Rick went over to check on him. So I talked to Rick yesterday. He's like, "Man, that glass, that stuff will just cut you to shit." And I go, "Oh yeah. How bad was Darby cut?" He goes, "How bad was I cut?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I was down there on my hands and knees and all that shit." I was like, "Wow, I didn't think about that." Yeah, he took a big super kick to the dome. Last time he'll try to interfere in the Young Bucks match, and down goes Pop.
Yep.
It was quite a show, man. Go out of your way to see it if you haven't already. AEW Revolution in the record books now. Sting is done. He's calling it a career, and we are celebrating that mighty career. We just started with Great American Bash 1989. We're going to fast forward 1 year to Great American Bash 1990. Sting is going to become the man once again in Baltimore, Maryland, this time decked out in that now famous red, white, and blue gear. That I believe Sting actually recently did an interview where he said that, "Man, this guy was really after me to dress up like Surfer Sting one last time. And I did it, but I felt silly." Well, that was me. I was after him to do it because this is such a big part of my fandom. Hopefully it is yours too, but believe it or not, Tony wasn't there. I wasn't even there. So pull up Great American Bash 1990 right now. If you're watching along with us on Peacock, we want you to go to season 4 of Great American Bash. So just look up Great American Bash season 4, episode 1. And then we want you to go to this time code. It's 2 hours, 23 minutes and 35 seconds. That's 2 hours, 23 minutes and 35 seconds. As you're all getting that set up, we'll do a couple of questions here for you, Tony. Lots of people had questions about Sting. Jeremy Cummings wants to know, did Sting ever rib Tony? That's a good question. Was Sting a ribber? He ever rib you?
No, he never did rib me, but he had a great sense of humor. I've talked about it's in Butts and Seats about how he was watching those clowns, and we were watching clowns perform on the Bruise Cruise, and they were on stage doing like a little interlude between acts. They were doing this crazy stuff where one would duck, one would hit the other, and there would be sound of a crash of a cymbal. And Sting looked at that just very serious. Said, "Man, they're stealing my spots."
Oh God, I love it.
And we paused, and he looked at me and just started laughing. And I thought it was one of the greatest lines. It's something that of all the times I've spent with Sting, that moment and that line, the deadpan delivery of that line has stuck with me forever.
What a great fucking story that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Just watching those clowns do it, I'm thinking, we are the fucking circus. And you know what? That was, to me, that told me that all that Sting was and did, and the big star that he was, that he never did really take it seriously as far as, my character, who I am, my creative. He just rolled with the punches, which, boy, more people should do. And I'm not talking about all in wrestling backstage. I'm talking about in life.
That's right. Well, we hope you're rolling with the punches with us here too. We want you to go to Great American Bash 1990. As we mentioned, that's season 4, episode 1 on Peacock. We're at 2 hours, 23 minutes and 35 seconds. We'll do one more question here, Tony, and then we'll get back to the program.
Okay.
This one is from Andrew, and he wants to know, what was your favorite Sting match in AEW?
Whoa, brother.
Your favorite one. You got to call maybe most of them or all of them even. What, do you have a favorite when you think about your favorite Sting match in AEW? Don't say the last one.
It's gotta be.
What about that cinematic match? Like his very first match back. That match was pretty impressive.
That was impressive too. Also and I'm not going to remember the actual show, but I believe it was Revolution 2 years ago.
Okay.
Where he climbed up on the, up in the stands and dove off onto the table.
Okay.
That to me, because I really don't remember what the match was, but that spot sticks out to me because that was me thinking for the first time in AEW, what in the hell is he trying to do?
That was in Orlando, Florida. Darby Allin, right. Sammy Guevara, and Sting beating Andrade, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy.
Wow. How about that for a combination?
That's a group of folks right there, my man.
It's amazing. Sometimes I go back and I take a look at the different matches that we've had in AEW and how things have changed throughout the years, and how the different people getting pushes or people working in, like you said, a 6-man, where you wouldn't even think that Andrade worked with Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy.
No, but it happened on pay-per-view.
It did happen. Yeah, right, on pay-per-view. But that's the match I remember most of all, because I knew it was in Orlando. I knew it was Revolution. And I even think in the Sting package that we had, which, hats off to everybody in AEW that worked on that package, that 4-minute package.
It was unbelievable.
It really was. That was a part of it, that when he went up top. And that was the one where I went to the backstage and he looked at me and smiled. He said, "That one was you." But that's the one I remember. So that's my favorite Sting match, even though I couldn't remember who it was against. I remember it because I remember the spots. And I think that as a wrestling announcer, I know everybody's brain works differently, but I think what I remember more than matches are the spots, or the big spots.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.